In the high-stakes arena of international politics, where words are often as dangerous as weapons, a single statement can ripple across continents and set entire military doctrines into motion. Recently, a warning from U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham has reignited debates in strategic circles and raised alarm bells in capitals from Washington to Moscow. By invoking America's past military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities, Graham was not merely recalling history, he was drawing a direct parallel to the present conflict in Ukraine, hinting that such a strike could one day be directed against Russia itself. The implications are staggering. Such rhetoric, combined with modern military capabilities, raises a dangerous question. Is the world witnessing the prelude to a new era of open confrontation between nuclear superpowers? The senator's provocation, a message wrapped in a threat. Lindsey Graham's words were sharp, calculated, and designed to resonate. Speaking in a tense political climate, he referenced the U.S. airstrike on Iran's Fordow and Natanz nuclear facilities as an example of decisive, overwhelming force. His Day 51 remark, urging President Vladimir Putin to ask Iran's Ayatollah what happens when patience runs out, was more than a warning. It was a signal that the United States, at least in Graham's view, retains the will and capability to act militarily if its demands over Ukraine are not met. Political analysts point out that such language is not mere political posturing. It forms part of a broader psychological strategy, one designed to intimidate adversaries, reassure allies, and test the boundaries of deterrence in the nuclear age. Operation Silent Thunder, the B-2's strike on Iran. The event Graham referenced was not a symbolic flyover, but a carefully executed high-risk mission that demonstrated the reach and lethality of U.S. air power. On June 21st, 7 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers departed Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Their declared destination was Guam, a standard Pacific deployment. But hours into the flight, the mission abruptly shifted. The aircraft altered course toward the Middle East, heading for two of Iran's most fortified nuclear facilities, Fordow and Natanz. In less than 37 hours, the operation was complete. The sites were struck with precision-guided munitions, and the B-2s returned to base without detection or engagement by Iranian defenses. This was not only a tactical success, but a strategic statement. The U.S. could reach any target, anywhere on the globe, and deliver a decisive strike before the enemy even knew what was coming. The B-2 Spirit, the pinnacle of stealth and global strike power. Developed at the twilight of the Cold War, the B-2 Spirit was intended to penetrate the most advanced Soviet air defenses of the 1980s and deliver nuclear or conventional payloads deep into enemy territory. Its unique batwing shape and radar-absorbent materials make it one of the hardest aircraft in the world to detect. Yet stealth has its limits. Over the decades, radar technology has advanced, with systems like Russia's Resonance-NE and Voronezh-DM capable of detecting low observable aircraft at long ranges. The B-2's slow cruising speed and lack of defensive armaments mean it is almost entirely dependent on remaining unseen. Once detected, its survival becomes significantly more challenging. This is why the Iran mission was such a carefully calculated risk. Iran's defenses, while advanced by regional standards, do not compare to the multi-layered shield of Russia's integrated air defense network. Russia's air defense fortress, strengths and gaps. Russia's air defense systems, particularly the S-400 and S-500, are designed to detect and destroy targets at ranges of up to 600 kilometers. These systems excel at tracking large, high-value targets like bombers, AWACS aircraft, and cruise missiles. However, Russia's vast territory creates inherent vulnerabilities. Remote regions, the Arctic, parts of Central Asia, and stretches of the Eastern Pacific cannot be fully covered by radar and missile batteries at all times. The retirement of the MiG-31 long-range interceptors, combined with delays in the next-generation PAC-DP interceptor program, has left some of these areas more exposed than before. A stealth bomber like the B-2 could, in theory, exploit these gaps. But striking deep into Russian territory would be an entirely different scenario from the Iran mission, one fraught with the danger of immediate nuclear retaliation. The nuclear equation: why Russia is not Iran. Unlike Iran, Russia possesses a triad of nuclear forces: land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, and long-range strategic bombers. This means any strike on Russian soil could trigger an automatic and catastrophic counterattack. The Kremlin has made clear that it considers its nuclear deterrent the ultimate safeguard of its sovereignty. In response to Graham's comments, Russian officials have issued stark warnings, pledging symmetrical or asymmetrical responses to any direct threat. Military activity has increased. Strategic bomber patrols are more frequent, hypersonic missile tests are ongoing, and large-scale drills have been launched in sensitive regions like the Arctic and Far East. NATO's position: preparing for the worst. NATO's military planners are not ignoring the implications. Air defense units in the Baltic states and Poland have been reinforced, and rapid reaction forces are on heightened alert. This buildup suggests that Western military leaders believe even symbolic U.S. military actions, such as the Iran strike, can have strategic consequences for Eastern Europe, where NATO and Russian forces operate dangerously close to each other. The B-2 as a tool of coercive diplomacy. Beyond its role as a bomber, the B-2 Spirit has become a weapon of political messaging. By demonstrating its reach and precision, the United States sends an implicit warning: if negotiations fail, military action is not off the table. However, history shows that such strategies can backfire. The more frequently military threats are used as diplomatic tools, the greater the risk that a miscalculation or even a misunderstanding could trigger a chain reaction neither side can control. The escalation dilemma: walking the razor's edge. We are now in an era where the boundaries between deterrence and provocation are increasingly blurred. Every show of force risks being interpreted as preparation for war, and every delay in dialogue increases the chance of a sudden escalation. The Iran strike was a technological triumph for the U.S. military, but as a precedent for future action, it carries heavy dangers. Against a nation like Russia, a nuclear peer with advanced defenses, the same strategy could lead not to a quick victory, but to a devastating global conflict. Conclusion: the choice between power and prudence. Senator Graham's remarks and the legacy of the B-2 operation against Iran reveal a dangerous truth. In the modern strategic landscape, power is not just about who has the most advanced weapons, but about how those weapons are used and when restraint is exercised. Russia is not Iran. It has the means to match any strike with overwhelming retaliation. In such a volatile environment, the real measure of leadership is not the ability to threaten, but the wisdom to prevent a war that no one can truly win. The B-2 Spirit remains a marvel of engineering and a symbol of U.S. global reach. But in the wrong political climate, it could become the spark that ignites the unthinkable. As the world stands on the edge of a new phase of geopolitical tension, the challenge is clear: to navigate the razor's edge between deterrence and disaster, and to choose diplomacy over destruction.